Here comes Dr. Smoke. On the takeoff roll, you can certainly see when that airplane gets off. It's a little light on the landing gear. Pulls the gear up and away we go. Okay, take a look at that. That sleek red aircraft is pretty rare in this country. It's called the F-260, a light attack fighter and used for transitioning pilots into jet aircraft. This airplane was built in Italy and is still active in the Air Force of over 20 countries throughout Europe, Africa, and Asia. Putting the aircraft through its paces is Ron Saglimbene, or Dr. Smoke as he's known in the airshow industry. When you see the SF-260 fly, remember that it is a military airplane. It really wasn't designed to do airshow aerobatics, but as you will see, it is a very capable aircraft. To put on a good show, Dr. Smoke will be flying the F-260 to its absolute aerobatic limits. The first series of maneuvers starts with a rolling hammerhead. Sag will dive the aircraft to a speed of over 250 miles per hour and then pulls straight up until the aircraft is almost stopped in the air and then kicks the rudder. As he heads back down, the airspeed will go from almost zero back to over 200 miles per hour. Look closely. The smoke trail will change from white to crimson red. Now you see why Sag is called Dr. Smoke. The next maneuver is called a Humpty. Sag pulls vertical, rolls, then goes over onto his back. It looks like a hump. That's where the name comes from. It's called a blind maneuver. Sag doesn't have any way of gauging his height until the airplane is pointing straight at the ground again. Hopefully, he has enough altitude to pull out with room to spare. This is the only piston-powered aircraft in the country that can change the color of its smoke in flight. The smoke trail changes again. This time it's green. Next comes a half Cuban 8. Sag starts by pulling into a loop. On the back side of the loop, he sets a 45-degree line and does a 2-point roll. Red, white, and green. This color combination fits since the SF-260 is painted in the colors of the Italian Air Force. Ron Saglimbene is Dr. Smoke. He's been a pilot for almost 30 years and has been flying aerobatics in competition and air shows for over 15. Before he started flying the SF-260, he was the flight lead of the split image aerobatic team and flew formation display for the past 6 years. Prior to that, he did a solo pitch act, and SAG holds an unrestricted surface waiver. When he's not flying air shows, he is an oral surgeon practicing in Wyckoff, New Jersey, and he was also on the board of directors of the Northeast Council of Air Shows. Dr. Smoke presents the other side of aerobatics, smooth flying, making it look easy. If there was an example of making something look easy, this is it. roll is a pretty standard maneuver. Now Dr. Smoke is going to up the ante. He's going to try to stop the roll 8 times instead of 4, and I believe he got them all. As Sag returns for his next pass, look at how thin the wing of the F-260 is. The aircraft was designed to train pilots to fly jet fighters. To give it that fighter-like feel, the wing is small and thin. That's what makes it so fast. It will cruise at 225 miles an hour and dives at 300. Dr. Smoke is diving the F-260, picking up speed. Goes from 140 to over 200 miles an hour in 4 seconds. And look at this, red smoke this time as he pulls the nose up into a loop and does a snap roll at the top as he flies it over the top. Here comes the Green Giant. Sag is going to pull up and put the F-260 on her back. He begins a series of rolls. Since he's flying really slowly, even with the control surfaces of the wings at maximum deflection, the airplane will barely roll as he's on the verge of stalling. There's just enough control left to finish the roll. Now this is a tricky way to reverse your direction. Most of the aerobatic maneuvers began as ways to avoid being shot down or to gain an advantage in aerial combat. This one was developed in World War I as a way to get an enemy aircraft off of your tail. You roll one way, and when your opponent follows, you continue rolling until you're going in the opposite direction. In this case, rolling right and going left. There he is, rolling right with the red smoke on, and he's going to break left. Sag and the other performers that you are watching today are a special group of people. They spend hours and hours learning to fly, and then hours and hours perfecting their skills. Most of them don't make a living doing this. The reality is that it generally costs much more to maintain the aircraft you see flying here today than anyone earns from actually flying. Coming up over the top, started out with red smoke, has transitioned to white smoke. And there's the green smoke. Coming back over the top again. Green smoke is still on. And rolls out back to straight and level again. These airshow pilots and those like them all over the country expose people like you to the beauty of flight. They're aviators, not technicians. They love to do what they do, and their love of flying rubs off on the people who watch them. They're having fun because you're having fun. A very famous airshow pilot once said, "Flying in an airshow may not be better than your wedding night, but it's better than the second night." Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Smoke has a very special announcement here for all of you here today. This is a historic occasion for him and also for all of us. There he goes, rolling that airplane over. From the right, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Smoke, Ron Saglimbene, the Cy Marchetti F-260 for what I believe is going to be a photo pass. Get those cameras and camcorders ready. And there goes the red smoke. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Saglimbene has been flying air shows now for almost 20 years. He flew a Pitts biplane as part of the split-image aerobatic team before he became Dr. Smoke and was in many of the Sussex air shows right here in northern New Jersey. This air show marks the end of Ron's air show career, and Sunday will likely be the last performance of Ron Saglimbene at an air show. He would like to thank Tim Wagner, the manager of Greenwood Lake Airport, for bringing air shows back to this area, and he would like to thank all of the people who come out and enjoy the show. You truly are the best people in the world. Ron hopes that the Greenwood Lake Air Show will continue to be successful and that it will become an annual event that relives our aviation history and showcases the talent of performers like you see here today. Ron would like to thank you all. It's been great fun, and it's been a great run as well. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow will be Ron Saglimbene's Dr. Smoke, his last air show performance. You don't want to miss it. It's been my privilege to work with this band for well over 10 years now. One of the nicest guys in aviation. I hate to see him retire, but unfortunately, he has decided that it's time to retire. 20 years in the air show business is pretty good.